All right, good evening. It is July 1st. Holy smokes, or as Kylie says, holy hot dogs. I love that saying of yours, Kylie. It's already July. Yay, Abby's here. Welcome. So, as I mentioned on our Voxer chat, I somehow spaced that July 1st was a Monday, so I didn't put anyone in charge, and I thought, well, okay, my turn. I'll do another week. And as I was thinking about what to talk about tonight, several people have reached out to me recently and said, oh, what's the best way to start a new rep? Because here the company finally, a year and some ago, came out with that Freedom Revolution site. There was the training there with all the videos by experts all across the country. There's a starter guide to fill out. I was just like ecstatic, like finally we're not all making up our own little startup kits. We have one place. We don't have to train them on all this stuff. We can just sit down and help them get busy. We can send them to this site. They're going to fill out their starter guide. They're going to listen to all these videos. Boom, they're going to know what they're doing, and we can just help them do it. Well, didn't turn out to be that way. As many of you, when you can share when we get to our discussion, maybe found out that not that many people are willing to even take an hour and go through all those videos and fill out the starter guide. I did have one new person do that, but that's all she ever did. Never did anything else. So it became apparent across the country that it was too long or too complex or too whatever, and they started simplifying it. And now, sure enough, we have 3 or 4 different ones that people are going back to creating their own. So I thought what we could do tonight was just take a night and look at the new Freedom Revolution Starter Guide, if you haven't had a chance to really dig into that and see how they've changed it and simplified it. So see what that's all about, because that is the company one. We'll take a quick peek at the Mission Driven info site and see what theirs looks like, just to compare real quick. We'll take a quick peek at what Mitra's come up with on her Shining Star site. And then I want to end with what's on our Team Turquoise Facebook page, which I just have totally revamped myself to make it simpler and to match some things that are out there, okay? And I'll tell you what I recommend, but this is your business, so you guys get to decide how you're going to do it, but I think there's some good stuff everywhere. So let me share, get to the right one here first. Oh no, didn't bring up everything. Hold on, I got all kinds of things opened up. All right, well, we'll go in backwards order. We'll start with Shining Star because it's open for some reason. Okay, so this is Mitra's brand new site. If you haven't been there, I haven't checked it all out, but there's a password that I believe is Shining Star, lowercase, and that gets you in. So let me show you what's here if you haven't seen it. This is the getting started piece, and it never looks like anything happens, and then you have to scroll down. So this is the welcome video, which is the come join us video that's on our virtual office and on the Freedom Revolution. She has 2 videos here. One is Kristen Hilmer and how she welcomes people, and Christy Nix. Both of these are like 45 minutes to an hour long. So just know that those are some long videos there. And then she has a way to do a new rep launch, some training on scripts that you can import into TeamZ and different verbiage, something on following up and how to go from not being pushy to professional, from bothering to caring, from what others think to what's in it for them. So that was another training by Ali Schneider, importance of connection calls. So there's like some different videos here, but I'll show you the quick starter page that she's come up with. And this is really basic. Write down a handful of names of people who immediately come to mind when you want to share with, what made you think of them. Plan how and when you'll share with the people above. What do you want to invite them to do? So there's all these different examples of sharing a video, coming to an event, meeting one-on-one, launch call, okay, all these just things to think about. Work with your sponsor on the best way to share your endorsement and invite people, how you invite them, so coming up with a plan. And the business is more fun with friends. We make a bigger difference with a team. If you were to build a team, who would you ask? So here's a place to So this is her start guide, just those 4 things. Okay, real simple. So there's that. Okay, and that's all I'm going to share about the Shining Star page. So if this really, and then she does have the link here to the Freedom Revolution and the big long compensation plan, and then some fast track to VF and fast track to sales coordinator videos. Although some of these need to be updated with like the new bonuses, and like the HLP one still says you need 3 households. They need to work on that. So that's what's good there. Okay. Let me bring up, I'll stop that share. And let me, okay, these should be here. I'm going to open up this one and go back. Okay. Let me share. Oh, that's Team Turquoise. Hang on. I guess I just need to open these things up. Let me open up Freedom Revolution. Okay. And Mission Driven Model. Okay. Let's see if they're, sorry about this. I had them on my thing. Okay. Oh, now it's going to just do one at a time. Well, we'll go this way. Okay. MissionDriven.net. They keep changing the name of this site. And again, there's a password, which I believe is mission. Whoops. No, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Let me just, I think I've got it saved in here. There we go. Okay. So this site has totally changed, and I wasn't sure where to find anything. It just kind of has a few things at the very beginning, but one way to get to things is the index up here. Okay. And I just went to the S's and found her version of the starter guide. I'm sure there's a better way to get there, but so let's take a quick peek at this. Is Julie Herbst's website, and it's a wonderful resource for so many things. So here's information about contact with the company. She starts with get your application in, get your password for your virtual office, set up your websites, download Voxer, short thing on the why. This is talking about looking at the fast track to see how you can get up to VF in your first 60 days. Memory jogger, talking about social media and how to share your story. And then this is some verbiage on how to share education with people, invite to 3-way calls, how to follow up. Okay, a lot of kind of training stuff in here. Here's the PVC and product page. Okay, here's the fast track roadmap that has the HLP, the 2000 plus, qualifying your business, fast track to sales coordinator. Here's the whole stair-step compensation plan. A lot of this is exactly what we're going to see in the Freedom Revolution. Here's the memory jogger with kind of some ways to keep track of what you shared and when they ordered, if they did. Here's a design your team form that's part of this start one. Here's the story worksheet. This is exactly the same as in Freedom Revolution. We'll look at that next. A business story, product story, order form for Tower Garden and Juice Plus, customer profile sheet, exactly what's on Freedom Revolution, and then some resources, the different websites. Okay, so you'll see a lot of this on the Freedom Revolution. She's just added a little more in the way of training. Okay, so one more time, let me open up the last one. And let's really look at what the new mission-driven model or Freedom Revolution, there it is, site has. Okay, so this is the company site that they've put together and have recently made simpler. So as you know, you can go to Get Started, and it's password protected. I think for me, it's going to put me right in there because I've already been in there today, so it sort of saves it for a day. But the videos are all the same, okay? All of these, casting vision, making your list, sharing your stories, all about the importance of events, how to invite, social media, follow up, expand your team, what's next. Those haven't changed. And here's what I'm feeling like with these. I think with these, we need to just pick and choose when it's right, when we're going to be setting up an event and it's time to invite, then you could send them the link to just that one training. When they're getting ready to share their story with people, then you can send them the link to sharing the story. So what I'm feeling like now, what I'm going to start doing, rather than have them go through all of these at once, I'm going to hand feed them these videos as they need them. So it's not quite so much all at once. But let's look at the new starter guide and see what you think. Okay. So very important, download the file to your computer, save it on your disk, and update it. So they want you to fill this out again. But it's a real quick start, much quicker than taking notes on every single one of those videos. First thing, here's your why, okay? What attracted you to Juice Plus? What would you like it to do for you and your family? And then they immediately want them to start thinking of people, okay? Who do you want to share this with? And then what kind of connection would be best? So this is very similar to Mitra's form, this part of it, okay? Work with your sponsor to create your Juice Plus story. So it's saying, okay, do that. And then I love this because they have some links here. Where do you find the videos to share? Tells you where to find those. What free health resources can I give away? It gives you the Healthy Living Revolution and gives you where to find the cookbooks and the child activities, etc. Okay, so a little bit of resources here, a little bit of coming together with names, and a little bit of the why, just to get people started. Then here's the fast track roadmap, but it's in a way so people, this is their tracker. So they can track, okay, here's what I need for the Healthy Living Plan. This is all updated where it just shows 2 households, not 3. Same thing with the 2000 plus, it shows the 5 households, not 8. And here's a place to write them down plus teammates. Okay, so this is not only teaching them the steps, but it's giving them a place to track it. I love that it has that step of being performance bonus qualified as a step. And then here's fast track to sales coordinator and everything you get with that and what you need. Okay, so you have all of that right there. Then they have the product story worksheet. And again, you could send that video on sharing your story when they get to here, if they're ready. Here's the business story worksheet, but it's all written out here. And here's a chance to create your dream team. That was on that missiondriven.net, right? That dream team profile. This is just a little bit different, but this is a chance to think of 5 people. Start thinking what you would like, who you would like to join your team. So that's on here. Here's the customer profile sheet that you can either keep online and download it so that you can fill this out online and store it, or you can print them out, and as you get orders, this just reminds you what you want to do with new customers when you order them, when you put in their order, like, can we be friends on Facebook? Can I add you to my group? What's your favorite way to learn? Would you like to be included and invited to events? Just things to remind them as you're signing them up on the product. Here's a survey where you really find out what they're hoping to see out of this. And this is a way to kind of have them see some things that they could expect and to be watching for. And this experience survey you're going to give to them in 3 or 4 months after they've been on Juice Plus for a while. Okay, so that's there. Once again, here's the whole price list. It's all color-coded to go with that fast track roadmap. So they can see all the prices and how much PVC you get, how much retail profit you get, blah, blah, blah. So that's there as a resource for them. Here's the whole stair step of the compensation plan. And then the official resources. Okay. So this has sort of some basic stuff, but it's not watch the video and then fill this out, watch the video and fill this out. So you can kind of fill in with those videos as you feel they're ready and they're at that point. if that makes sense. So I think it was a good move to really make this simpler, but it still has some important stuff on there. Okay, so the last thing I want to share, and it's been so long that I'm wondering if people even know, and I actually just updated it today. So let me get you to our Team Turquoise Facebook page and show you what I have there as steps. And this is under the announcements. So you'll see a brand new graphic. Welcome to Team Turquoise. We're so glad you joined our mission. Okay. And I just want to take you through, because this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I recommend you do, but you choose which of those resources you want to send them to: the Freedom Revolution, the missiondriven.net, or the Shining Star one. Whichever one makes the most sense to you and seems the most simple, that you're going to get excited about, that's the one you want to send them to. But let me take you through what's here, because once you add somebody as a new team member to our team page, and I hope you always do that right away, I wouldn't add them to all the pages yet. I think that's overwhelming. When I do, I just start on this one and my customer page, and that's kind of it. They're going to shred, I put them on the shred movement. I personally don't add them to the Shining Star page yet, because I don't want them to get overwhelmed. I want to keep it simple. But that's up to you if you want to add them to that. Okay, so here's what it says. Welcome to Team Turquoise. We're so glad you've chosen to join our team. Then I have our team mission statement. With passion, friendship, and fun, we spread hope and health to our world. And I'll tell you what I've got planned for that in a minute. So we're here to support you and help you reach your goals. Your sponsor will link arms with you and guide you through the process. Here are some steps to get started. So I've decided the very first thing that I'm going to do with my people before I start setting up websites and training and all of this is I want them in action. And I think that's what we're finding. I put that in our agenda. I think the two most important things that you can do when somebody's brand new is, one, dig in and find out, see if you can find a why, something that they want to reach and work for first. If it's just enough money to pay a house cleaner, if it's enough money, there's something that they really would love. And I love that question that I ask when we do 3-ways with new people. If your Juice Plus paycheck could pay for blank, that would be so cool. And I have them fill in that blank and really think. At the beginning, we're not talking about, traveling the world and having, ski condos all over the world. We're talking about the first thing that would be so cool if this money, whether it's $100, $200, could cover. Let's find something that would really make a difference in your life. And once they have their teeth sunk into that and you can find that, then you can say, great, now let's do it. Let's get that for you. Let's get that $200 a month so you can pay off your car or whatever it is. Okay, so there's two things you're going to see in here, and I put the ABC form first because I want them to get started. But the second thing is to do a welcome call. So once again, the ABC form is under the Files tab. Now, with the Files tab, the problem is it gets buried. So I'm going to try to keep having it show up near the top more often by reminding people to use it. But it's right here. We've talked about it before, but this is the plan of action. Let's get them going. So the curiosity post, we're going to talk about it, and then right away, let's start with that. Let's get that curiosity post put out there. Give them a good graphic, give them some good examples of others that have used them and what happened, and get that up right away. And then tell them, don't respond to anybody until you've talked to me, but let's get that up. So immediately they're in business. Then I want their 20 people that come to mind first, the closest 20 people to them. And we're going to talk about how to reach out to them. And the verbiage is here, whether it's texting, messaging, talking to them in person. Here's the simple verbiage they can use for all these 20 people. I have no idea if you would be interested, this would be of interest to you, but I found something that, here you're going to insert your really short story, okay, that's really helped my kids with their asthma, or that's really helped us stay healthier, or that gives me peace of mind. Okay, whatever it is. I thought of you because, would you be open to learning more? If I, would you? Okay, you use those sentence stems for these people and work with them to do a few so that they see what that looks like, and get them messaging or talking to people on this list right away. Tell them you're going to teach them how to follow up later, but get them in action. And the third thing is events. See what events are already happening that they can be inviting to, and then see if you can schedule a launch call or a salad in a jar party or something that's their event that they can invite their people to, and come up with some ideas there. Okay, so we want them in action. We want them to feel like they don't have to know everything before they start talking to people, but we want to guide them so that they're not blasting Juice Plus all over Facebook, right? And you can then send them that social media video maybe after you've helped them create that first post, and they can listen to that. Okay, so that is under the Files tab. Let's go back to our welcome message. So that's the first thing, is get that in front of them and work on it. Second thing, do a welcome call with your sponsor and upline NMD, that would be me, to get really clear about your why and your very first goal. Okay, so I would love, I was just today doing our stats and congrats, and I'm putting these brand new people in and all these new reps. It was like, I have no idea who these people are. I would love to meet every single person that comes onto our team. And if it's too hard to arrange an actual call, let's at least set up a three-way Voxer chat so I can say hello, tell them a little bit of my story. Here's what I have planned, and I was hoping to have it done today, but it's not. I'm going to put a video of me welcoming people to our team on our Team Turquoise page. I will share a little bit of my story. I'll talk about our team mission and how we came up with that, and how we really are about passion, friendship, and fun. Kind of get them excited about joining us, and just make it a real short video so you can send that to them. I'm going to add that as a step in here. Send them the video to watch so they get to meet me. And that way we won't have to take time on our connection call for me to share my story. They will have already heard it. Okay, and that'll just make those calls a little shorter. But really important, and if I'm not the best person to connect them to, find someone that is, but you really want to dig in. Again, here's these two things: get into action and dig into finding their goal. Okay, so those two things I think are the most important to hit first. The third thing is find out what you need to do. Okay, let's talk about the Healthy Living Plan. This is step one, how to get your first promotion. I had the link here to the video, but I watched it and it was still saying 3 households, so I took that out. If they update it, I'll put that video link in here again, because then you can just send it to them and say, okay, here's our first step, and you don't have to really explain it. She does such a great job in that video, and it's real short. Okay, so here's what you want. We got our people. This is what you need. 1 other household, 500 points, 30 days. Let's do it. Okay. Then what I'm telling them to, and here's where you can change it up. I like the freedomrevolution.com. I'm telling them, go there, click on the Get Started, download the starter guide, and fill it out. So this is some homework, and here's where you see it's not as long as it used to be, but have them start working on their story on there, and go over that with them once they figured it out, once they filled it out. That'll be a really good test at this point. They're already in action, right? We've already got them reaching out to people. But now we want to really start training them about how to follow up and do those things that will happen. So I want them going to there and start getting that filled out, and then again, I'm going to feed them the videos as I see that maybe it would help. If we have an event coming up to invite to, I'll send them the inviting video. So that's step 4. Step 5, have your sponsor help you set up your virtual office and learn how to put in orders. That's like the 5th thing on my list. Don't spend your first time just going all over the virtual office. Get them talking to people. And then the 6th thing I said is check out the other links on the Freedom Revolution for frequently asked questions, great video links to share, the compensation plan videos if they want to know more than just, if they want the big picture, and other helpful documents. So once they get going, then letting them know that there's a lot more on that site that they can when they're ready. But that's down the road. And we're all cheering you on. Team Turquoise rocks. So this is on the announcements in our Team Turquoise page. This is what I recommend you do with a brand new person to keep it simple, find out their why, and get them into action. I will stop the share here and hear some discussion questions. Here's what I wrote in our agenda. Got 10 minutes here. So what starter guide do you like the best out of those three? The Freedom Revolution, Mission Driven, or Shining Star? If you have a favorite, share that, and it doesn't matter. And what's been most successful when you start a new rep to get them into action? Do any of you have things that you have done that can really help us that we could think about? And what has been challenging and how can we improve? So what hasn't worked? So anybody, let's hear.
Barb, I'll go first. So I would say for me, the biggest thing is getting an event for someone. That's what I do very first. And I just say, you don't answer any questions, connect them with me. Like, it puts a little bit more work in the forefront, but I feel like if they see success quickly, they get momentum and get excited. And if they don't, they just kind of like, oh, when it works, when it doesn't. And, if right now we have a really crazy incentive because if they get their HLP within the first 30 days of signing up, then they get a conference ticket. So that's a huge plug for me right now. I'm like, you get a free conference ticket. So, that's just what I've been doing.
What kind of event do you usually do, Abby?
So if they're not local, I see if there's somebody like Juice Plus by them that they can do something with, or I just say, let's get in an online event. And I kind of like connect with different sidelines from like across the country, like different demographic, different dynamic. Obviously I'm an image, which gives me a really wide range of people that I know. So that's been really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So I just connect with different people. So that way they'll, I'm like, if I like that they're a nurse or if they have a great story or something like that. And then I do a call for them, and, with friends and stuff like that. So I found that to be really helpful, or like a Facebook type thing.
Like a launch
or
call.
a Zoom, because Zoom you can record. So that's sometimes nice too, but Facebook is nice because then people can it's more on their radar, like they see it because a lot of people are on Facebook. But if they're local in any way, shape or form, I make that, like, I do an event. Like, I'm like, start inviting your people. Like, I am coming, and I hound them. I keep hounding them. When are you having an event? When are you having an event? How can I come? What can we do? Like, if it's a Salad in the Jar party because they feel more comfortable with that, fine. If it's, like, let's get right into it and start talking about what we're doing, I will bring, we've created events in the North strong enough now that I know that people will come. We can get like a group of people, which is really powerful. So, I literally nothing is like a live event, in my opinion, because you can see them, you can feel the energy, you get excited. And that is what has created for me the most momentum. Is I know there are people, I'm like, if I can get them to a live event, and it hasn't always happened yet, but I'm like, when I get them to a live event, it's happening. Because with videos, there's just not the same gusto as when you like feel the people. So that would be my best advice, is just, even if you have to put the orders in under yourself. I've done that because I'm like, don't worry about the virtual office, all those things. Like, it is overwhelming. There's so many things. And literally, I'm like, don't worry about any of the things right now. Like, we'll go back and learn those things. Like, literally, especially if it's towards the beginning of the month. Obviously, if the end of the month, you have to be a little bit more careful. Like this month, Friday, then we had Saturday and Sunday. So, you wouldn't have, there's no way to connect with corporate. But if it's at the beginning of the month, like, I'm constantly just putting in orders for people and getting people on the phone, because it's hard to ask for, the closing of the sale sometimes too. So it's not hard for me to do that, especially for someone else's, people. So anyway, that's my.
So you're getting like three-way calls to help them get their customers signed up.
Yeah. Like, even if it's like they're, cause then they're like, oh my word, when we put our order, like, hey, let's talk to Abby. And then they're not necessarily sure they're putting their order in, but because I've answered so many questions, I'm like, oh my word, I'm so glad we could do this. Like, let's get your order in so we make sure we get it by whatever date. Like, if that way, if you take the product for a couple days and you decide you want to jump in the shred, you have plenty of time to do that. Like just whatever is gonna, make them feel more comfortable to do that. So
perfect. Great. That's why events are part of that form as well. You can start at the bottom and work your way up. If you don't want to do the post first, start with the events and work your way up that way. Perfect.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the post. The post is actually really good too, but some people don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, and you have to kind of, nudge them out of their comfort zone gently. We don't want to throw too many things at them at first, but yeah, nice, awesome, thank you. Who else? Do you have a starter guide you like best out of those 3 that you think you'll use, or? Everybody's quiet tonight. The other thing I'll just say, and this is why sometimes those starter guides are fairly helpful, is everything you do, you want them to be able to duplicate with their people, right? It's a process of duplication. So if you have a process and say, okay, we're going to do this and this and this, and you say to them, and when you bring on new people, then I will help you train them to do these things too. So.
This is Sue.
Yeah.
When you went over the Freedom Revolution, you started a guide that was simpler. I thought that is great. That's got all the things that I try and piece together and end up sending to people individually, and it's not all together. And I thought that would be great to use, but there was other parts of it I didn't feel was appropriate to use right off the bat. And I really like your ABC form. So I was really pleased to see what you put together, and I think you did a really great job with what you put together on Team Turquoise. I like the ABC form. I like your little checklist, and then referring them to where they can find the starter guide on the Freedom Revolution. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, because I think there's still some things on there that might be overwhelming to them at first, and
right.
Some people feel like they have to learn everything before they open their mouth, and we really want to avoid that. So that's why it's down the list. So, okay, good. Other thoughts? Marlon says her phone's dying. Who else had something to say? Tammy, any thoughts? Do you have one that you like the best?
And Barb, one last thing. This is new to me, your new starter guide. I think that's awesome. Like, I really liked how you pick and chose things from different things. So I appreciate you doing that.
Sure, thank you. Well, I just redid it again. I kind of was doing it while I was talking to Tammy, because she called me the other day and it's like, okay, what are we doing these days? And so it is. It's kind of made me sad that all these people are creating their own now. So I still feel like you need to pick one that you like to send people to when you're ready to get the training going. Ms. Tammy, what do you want to say?
Did you still want me to share?
Yes, of course.
Well, I made like a little it's so similar to you, Barb. And I actually went over this with Barb to make sure that I was headed in the right direction. And I also called Abby and a couple other people, because I just wanted to, I actually have it's so much like Barb, 6 little steps. And again, like you guys were all saying, depending on who joins your team, some of them might not go in that order, but pretty much just signing the app, the little basics of that, and then some form of an introduction, like some kind of a 3-way call, making sure they get on Voxer, adding them to our team, Turquoise Facebook page, just really starting small. And then making sure that they get their calendar out and get Barb's new Monday night distributor call on there, and possibly Mitra's Academy call. Again, that's going to depend on the rep, and letting them know about our all team call. And then of course, getting the nuggets, the big stuff like boot camp and conference, and just planting seeds for fun events, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't want to spring on them at the last minute. And then after that, like Barb, I get into the getting started. I have 2 little forms that I use to kind of paint the vision of HLP, VF, and then qualification, and just getting a qualified business. And I use the ABC form. I use the exact same form that Barb uses. And then I ease in events and tools. And then my last thing is just online etiquette and helping them with that. So I keep it super crazy simple like you guys. I try to make sure that it's extremely duplicatable and that they start really simple and that we don't overwhelm them, even if they have long-term goals. Just really, you have to know how to do an HLP because that's how we do our whole business, and really, having them feel comfortable doing an HLP because they're going to be doing hopefully hundreds of them, right?
Right.
So pretty much what you do, Barb.
And I like what Tammy's got is almost more, and this is what is missing. I used to have what I called the sponsor checklist, right? Not that we're going to hand that to them necessarily. Well, I did actually used to, because I said, okay, this is what I have to make sure to cover. So what Tammy's got there is almost like the sponsor checklist. It's reminding you as the sponsor to make sure that you tell them about the Monday night calls, and to make sure that, they get their virtual office logged in and get their password and all of that so that they can get in, So it's almost a separate sheet for you as the sponsor, not necessarily something you need to hand to them, say, okay, now you have all these steps too. You want to get them in action, but I love that as a sponsor sheet to remind you, don't forget to invite them to boot camp. Don't forget to invite them to conference, at some point. So maybe you could send that to me, Tammy, and I'll, post that as this could go along with it as a sponsor checklist of other things to be sure and tell them about.
Sure, I would never give this to them. This is just because I know they're going to ask a lot of questions, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I want to remind myself that, it's one step at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah. And that sheet, that thing on the turquoise is just the very beginning, because obviously we want them on Voxer. Obviously we want to add them to the calls and websites and things later, but this is just for them to see how easy it is to just start and lock arms. So awesome. That's great. Other thoughts? Mr. Don, how are you doing with your brand new rep? You just got her started. Did you take her to Freedom Revolution? What have you done? What makes sense to you out of the 3 different sites?
Yes, I've taken, she's been looking at it, and what I had following Tammy's list, but you just went over there, and that's what I'm following with her. And I didn't hit the ABC right away because I wanted to get her into the mindset first. She has her own business. She knows what, how business goes, but I wanted to get into our sequence. And she's like that. So I was just texting her again. So, okay, we got 12 days.
Give her just what she needs. Feed them at the same time, just little bits at a time what they need. Okay, I just noticed it's already 9 o'clock, so let me stop the recording. But thanks for your ideas. Oh, we got fun people on. Hi there, Daisy. Hi, Everly. How are you girls tonight? Say goodbye. We're going to stop the recording. You're being recorded right now. Wave goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good week, everybody.
Bye.